why was DEI even instituted in the first place? Because for the majority of time that black people have been in this country and been free, we've been denied so much. Somebody somewhere had to put some things in place to provide access of some kind.
If you believe that, that's fine. I watched my city burn down for a guy who was arrested 9 times and committed violent crimes against women. What?
Now, you know, let me
That's a travesty of justice. He shouldn't be out in public.
Let me say this to you.
Yo, what it do? Well, everybody, this your boy Reggie Red. You already know what it is. And this is Reggie Red's Reactions. Now, I want to start this off by saying I appreciate everybody that subscribed to my videos lately. I'm up to 51, 52. And look, if you subscribe, go and drop a comment and let me know what number you are. Like if you subscribe and you number 53, let me know so I can shout you out in my next video. But yeah, I'm trying to run this channel up. Yep. But look, we got a little debate in a barbershop. I don't know if y'all know this dude, Steven Crowder from YouTube. But he's in a black barbershop and they debating, they chopping it up respectfully. And they getting into the shit. You know what it is. But anyway, if you like this video by the end, make sure you like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And hit them alert bells too, so you know when I'm dropping my next video. Let's jump into
the rate is a black man or person, because most murders men, there are very few female murders, 12 times more likely to kill a white person the other way around. And then you look at the average arrested before they're brought in for killing, charged with murder. Do you know how many times they're arrested on average before they murder? 11 times.
Once again, the justice system's got its flaws, and people have been complaining about that for years. We spend more time trying to fix that than trying to complain about the white versus black of it all.
Well, I think, just like I was trying to listen to all communities last time, I think this is something that's unavoidable. If this community, if enough white people get pissed off, they're going, look, we're living in New York now, we're getting killed in record numbers, or Detroit, 12 times the rate. And our system, 3 strikes in California, right? That was a 3-strike policy. The reason that was changed, it said it was racist. Crime went down in black communities 30%. But now people are looking at their cities going, this is a fucking hellscape. And the murder is skyrocketed because people said in the name of racial justice, like 3 felonies, you're out.
Because crime is crime, right? But crime is usually going to be higher concentrated in areas where there's high poverty. So typically the areas that's high poverty in this country are areas with people with this color skin. So that's why you're going to have that. That's why I said those numbers could be skewed and made to manipulate to look like, oh yeah, that's why I said in
not at 12 times the rate.
In suburban neighborhoods, white people are not in danger, and that's what this kind of fear mongering tells them, is that you're in danger because you're 12 times more likely to get killed by a black person. You live in ain't nobody coming after you. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody tripping on you. But these people are just as scared as the other folks.
They are if they get on a bus.
Not necessarily.
They are if they get on a train.
That lady wasn't in danger because that man was black. That lady was in danger because that man was crazy.
Nope.
That man was mentally insane.
But why was he back on
family members? He had his own family members call the hospital to try to get him committed. He told his sister he killed that woman because he thought she was trying to read his mind.
Yep. Why was he let out, though? And I'm not saying it's because he's black.
Yeah,
I'm saying people look at it, though. The judge said
part of black fatigue.
He's insane, right? We agree.
That's not a black and white issue.
He was deemed not fit to stand trial, right?
Right.
Now,
should have been institutionalized.
Right. The IOU policy, meaning you don't have to pay bail. You don't even have to stay here until you're actually convicted. You just say you'll come back.
Right, which is messed up.
Yeah, the judge, Teresa Stokes, black woman, said, well, this is about racial justice. We need to be softer on crime. So that's her reasoning. That's why he was out. And you can find dozens of examples.
That's her misguided reasoning.
And that's policy.
But that's systemic, though, right?
That's not representative of a whole.
It's not. It's not. No, and look, we always have to say not all. Like, not all white people wear MAGA hats and are dumbass pieces of racist shit. But we have all been accused of racism, sexism, misogyny, homophobia. What I'm saying is black fatigue is white people going, you know what? I know I'm not racist. And I know that we're dealing with record crime, and I know that I'm more at risk. And they have negative interactions, and they're constantly told that they're not allowed to voice their fucking opinions because they're white. what happens when someone has to keep their mouth shut about everything?
Nobody tell you have to keep
That's
your
how they
mouth
feel.
shut.
That's how they feel.
I don't believe white people have to keep their mouth shut. I think white people don't speak up about a lot of the things that they do and they perpetuate that affects us negatively. That's the stuff that nobody wants to. That the issues aren't made about those things. I really respect the platform that you have because you do have open and honest conversations. And I have to say, I don't believe that those numbers about the black people murdering white people are correct. I don't believe those numbers are correct.
What if they are? What if I'm not lying to you?
If you're not, then I've been misled and I've been isolated from realistic numbers. But I know in this country, from the time that we got here and until now, there's never been hordes of black people that just go out and maraud and menace white people. Interactions happen and things do occur. I'm not saying that they don't, but not by and large in number. We can't be this small a percentage of the overall population and still have the numbers that people try to perpetuate onto us. See, black people do more harm to other black people than we do to other white people.
Well, that's true. That's true. Because people who are close. That's true.
We also have historical evidence of groups of white people attacking and chasing black people.
So it's
coming after.
So when people say
it's not happening now.
So I'm just saying,
and that's the point. Is we're at a precipice right now.
That's a part of the historical condition.
Well, sure, but someone today.
Hold on. I wasn't finished making my point. I wasn't finished making my point. When like I said, black fatigue, that's the newest mantra that's been put out into society to make people think that, okay, they tired of black people. They tired of what you said, that we can't say anything about black people. We can't do. Well, when you hold all the power, when you hold all the economic rights, when you hold all the things that make this country move, when you're in charge of those things, you know what I'm saying? Well, you know what? I put it like this. White people got the firecrackers, we got the stem. That's it. Y'all got the power. The power is placed outside of the black community. We're charged with all the negative things. Those are the things that are really generally coincide with how people relate to us. The bad stuff that's go wrong with this world is the black people's fault. We the smallest part of this country. Remember that. You know what I'm saying? Beside the immigrants that come here.
It's just like when Charlie Kirk got shot and they start sending bomb threats to HBCUs, and black people looking around like, we ain't had shit to do with this. This is white on white crime. That's y'all problem. Y'all gotta deal with that shit. But why is it always looking towards everybody else first, knowing that your neighbor is more likely to kill you than anybody else? They gotta start being real with this. See, they hateful and their bigness won't allow them to. It won't allow them to see this shit. And that's all motherfuckers be saying. Look, these black and white race conversations, they delicate, but it's like people getting tired of it. It's like we ain't fixed shit yet. We still talking about race relations, and we still ain't fixed this shit. It's some people that just don't want it to be fixed. Obviously. Cause look, I ain't got shit against white people. I got a half white son. I ain't got shit against white people. Matter of fact, I love white people, especially the ones I'm cool with, like the white people at work and shit, the ones I work with. Them some cool ass dudes. And I know they probably conservative, but we don't even talk about it. But them some cool ass white boys. And we dap each other up, respectful to each other and everything. But it's like once you get on the internet and motherfuckers subconscious thoughts start to seek out into the internet, into these message boards and chat rooms, then that's when you know. Let's get back to it.
Tasked with the negative, the criminal, the immoral. That's us. And that's what we consider, that's white fatigue. But you know what we do? We just say, that's just how it's always been. So we don't make up words for it or terms for it. So now you have a frustrated group of white constituents that feel like, oh, we can't say anything. We have to do this. We have to do that so you don't be deemed as that. Well, if you wasn't that in the beginning to start with, there would be no need for the reform or the feelings that you have. You can't say anything about because you done treated us like shit for so long, and people finally stood up and said, hey, you got to stop treating us like shit. Now that you want to feel like, you know, things aren't going in the manner that you want them, now we want the right to keep saying those things.
What if your premise is completely flawed? And what I mean by that is if we're trying to understand it, you said you have power in all those institutions.
Yes.
What if, for example, you have an entire generation of people, young white men, women, who if they apply to a college or apply to a job, they don't have a grant, there's no Pell Grant, there's no type of subsidy, there's no DEI initiative. As a matter of fact, they're likely to be passed over. They hold no institutional power. And when you say black people haven't done anything, when you think of this white person, a young white person, because I'm seeing some people become radicalized and it can become a problem. Yeah. And then they see billions of dollars and riots and damages all summer long, and then they go, why is this happening? Black Lives Matter, right? So they're going to make that connection. Now, they have no institutional power, but if they go into a neighborhood that's largely black, they're going to get the shit kicked out of them. And they're being blamed for something that supposedly their racist forefather did that they have nothing to do with. You think we're ever going to have unity? This is the problem. Unity, if let's say your dad's a or your grandfather's a and you walk up and you slap his teenager, you now have made that person hate you for life. And that's what I'm seeing with not even my generation. Younger people are going, I had nothing to do with this shit. They came up during the riots. They've come up under DEI, and they're seeing a 12-time murder rate, skyrocketing crime, and any proposals they make not holding institutional power shut down as racist.
Now, why was DEI even instituted in the first place? Because for the majority of time that black people have been in this country and been free, we've been denied so much. Somebody somewhere had to put some things in place to provide access of some kind.
If you believe that, that's fine, but you can't tell that young white kid who had nothing to do with it that he should just sit down and take it. Especially when they're getting killed at 12 times.
That's what America's been telling us for the longest.
The young white man that has to
not
deal
in my
with the
lifetime.
DEI, the young person of this generation that you said that feels they're misled by the being mistreated by the DEI.
I'm just using it as an example. They don't hold any institutional power. Young white people don't. They don't have an advantage.
Not yet, because they're young white people. They haven't advanced to where they're middle-aged white people, where the power comes. See, what black people, once again, when you got colleges that denied access to black people, you can't come here. Something had to be put in place. Well, look, y'all got to let some black people come here. Y'all can't just exclude
that started happening long before DEI.
But see,
It did. Long before black people were admitted into colleges, HBCUs.
Hold on, let me say what I'm trying to say.
My bad.
I hate when people get on a social issue like DEI, because it seems like don't nobody really know what it means and who it benefits the most, which it sure ain't black people. I think it benefit black people like 4%. DEI is for white women. It's been like that. It's been like that. Affirmative action even was for white women. But they put that on us. Why? I don't know. Because DEI is so much more than just about race. It's about marginalized people getting a chance. That's all. That's it. That's all. But you got people like Charlie Kirk say, oh, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be uncomfortable or some shit he said. Like, bro, you really think they going to let anybody just fly a fucking plane? That's what they sounding like. They sounding like anybody can just walk in off the street and get a job under DEI. If that was the case, we wouldn't even be in poverty. We can go get a job as a CEO or somewhere. If that was the case, so you got to be qualified some, at least. Like, well, people don't think like that, especially when it comes to the race part of it. But DEI is about age, race, disabled person, a person that need accommodation as they work, like veterans, all that shit is DEI. But these conservatives They don't look at it like that. All they look at it is like, oh, it's a black dude. He's getting a chance. He's taking a job from a white person. They really think this. But it's like, how is it automatically being took from a white person? How you just gonna automatically say that that's a white person's job? You can't. I can see if you say you took a job from somebody else qualified. No, he said you took a job from a white person. Like that job is just automatically theirs. And that's what I'm saying. You got shit like legacies, Nepo babies. Just look at the Trump administration. Look at his cabinet. Not one of them motherfuckers are qualified. You think RFK Jr. know anything about health? That man sound like he about to croak over at any moment. Like, what are they doing? Last time he put Ben Carson, a fucking surgeon, he put him for the HUD. I guess he get a black people that all the time. The HUD, housing and urban development. I guess he seen urban was like, oh, yep, that's a black person position. Shit crazy, man. These racial undertones really need to cut. It needs to stop. It needs to stop. But it's like, how can you change people's hearts and minds?
Trying to make it clear.
He's trying to do a senior Wences and talk through you. So
Well, you know, because you trying to.
No, I get it.
DEI is just a new way of wrapping affirmative action.
Yeah.
Affirmative action had to be put in place because there was the access being denied. So somewhere, the legislation had to be put in place. Well, look, we can't just exclude all of them. So somewhere along the line, they have to be allowed some access. Okay, that was put in place. Now, fast forward till now, those same things that are put in place for those people back in those generations that are still in place, they're not excluding people from getting to places they're just still trying to keep those doors open so that those black people that were coming through that door can still get in. Because if you remove those, over time, we will be denied the access again.
If a black person has lower SATs, right, and lower GPA, should he get in over an Asian or a white person?
Let me ask.
If all things are supposed to be laid out equal, no, you shouldn't get. If you don't have it,
That's what's
what
happening.
it takes to get in. No, but
It is happening, and I'm telling you, young white dudes are pissed.
That's
I'm
not
telling
the
you.
majority of what's happening.
It is happening.
When this guy kneeled on this man's neck, was going back to George Floyd. Look, if he had done something when he was subdued and on the ground, what was the real reason for kneeling on his neck except to inflict fatal harm? What was it?
I can tell you exactly what it was, and I can tell you why you're not recognizing the problem. Because the opinion polls, and I'm not saying right or wrong, the opinion polls have changed on George Floyd since I last spoke with you. You know why?
Why?
All the body cam footage came out. You know what? You know why? Because he was there for 12, 15 minutes, asked to be put in the car, they put him in the car, asked for air conditioning, gave him air conditioning, asked to be taken out of the car, they took him out of the car. He wouldn't stop moving. People have watched it now and go, you know what? It's not what I thought it was. You know how many times he was arrested before that? 9. He shouldn't have been. You know what would have saved him? 3-strike policy. He robbed a woman at gunpoint with a child in the house. And so white people look at it, young white people, right, who you have to understand, during COVID, this is a whole generation of people. White people did not have any fucking opportunities during COVID. They didn't get to go to the graduation, college, black, white, all of them, right? It's a generation that's pissed. Rightfully so, they got screwed. I think we can agree on that. They're going, I watched my city burn down for a guy who was arrested 9 times and committed violent crimes against women. What?
Now, let me say
That's a travesty of justice. He shouldn't be out in
Let me
public.
say this.
how many felonies does President Trump have on his record? Yet he was still allowed to
None.
occupy the most.
No criminal felonies.
He has no criminal felonies, but he's got moral felonies, which would, if there was a court of justice for that, he probably would be tried a long time.
No. He has criminal felonies. I don't know what that white boy talking about.
I'm gonna be. Let's talk about it.
Is this where we all get on board with crazy white bitches
No,
who
not
accuse
at all.
men of rape?
No,
Like,
not
I
at all.
probably she accused 26 men of rape, that
Not
crazy
at all.
broad.
Here's the reality, though. And when you look at the convergence of this new agenda, where you're going strictly into blue cities, why is it that most of those blue cities also happen to be occupied? The areas they're going in are heavily occupied by minorities. Why is that so?
Well, because
black people tend to vote Democrat, and they're run by Democrats. Detroit, you can look at it. You can look at Chicago. Is that what you mean?
I mean, no, that's not what I'm asking you at all. What I'm asking you is, like I said, with this all-out assault right now, just last night they were talking about something in Chicago, right? But 1 o'clock in the morning, you have people in military gear, what have you, helicopters and all this kind of stuff like this here, not just knocking doors down, but dragging people out.
Because it's the murder capital of the country. You just said black people are more harmed by this. We don't want to take out murderers?
No. I think really what true is you're confusing what I'm trying to say to you.
Are you talking about the National Guard in Chicago?
No, what I'm trying to say to you is this, though. If we're going to talk about the problem, let's talk about the problem. And the fact about it is, when you talk about white America being pissed, white America is going to always find a reason that doesn't fit their narrative or what have you. But what white America fails to talk about, and what never ceases to amaze me, is the fact that the biggest threat is not going to come from blacks. The biggest threat is coming from within. You look at the average person that's been committing some of the most heinous crimes over the days, it's 22 to 29-year-old white males, right? Look at how
No, that's just not true, man. Violent crime, you just said, like you said, a small percentage of the country, about 12 to 13%, 50% of the violent crime, but the murder, a 12 times likelihood.
That's skewed.
If you just,
That's been
you don't listen to them,
No, I said that particular stat is skewed.
it's not skewed. These are from the FBI, DOJ. And you know what else we look at? We look at Roland Fryer from Harvard, who conducted it, black guy.
You hear what he just said? It's from the FBI, DOJ. But yet, when we say people on the right commit more violence from that same website, they don't believe that one, though. It's like you can't have it both ways. You can't just have a pose that you like, so you gonna agree with it and say that's true. But then when something go against your narrative, you gonna say that's false just automatically? Hey, boy, man, I wish I'd have been there, cause I'd let them know something.
Black professor, really respectable guy, honorable man, conducted a study, and he came out and he said, yeah, all of my research says that black men are 0% more likely to be shot by police officers than whites. Black people got so mad at him, he reconducted the study, a black man from Harvard, and he came to the same conclusion, and now he's not black enough.
Wait, so let me see if I understand you clearly.
Yeah.
You're saying, according to this guy's statistics, right, that black people are 0% less likely to be shot by a white police officer.
A liberal professor at Harvard, yes, and he conducted it twice. Because black people said what you're saying. He goes, look, I was as surprised as you. I was trying to find how much worse it is. My data showed me it's not. He reconducted the study an entire time. Now, he did come to the conclusion that an officer is 18 times more likely to be shot.
Wasn't over time. But let's be frankly honest. How many shootings have happened in most recent history that have involved black men that have been unarmed? And you sit here and use that analogy that black men are analogy. Listen, as a totally blind individual, listen, I'm even apprehensive. There was an incident where the police stopped us, and it was my cousin and I. My cousin is a retired military vet or what have you, right? And immediately when we got out of the car, out of fear of possibly being shot, the first thing I did was raise my cane and say, officer, I said, listen, I am totally blind before we get out of hand with this, right? Now, I shouldn't have to react like that. But when you start looking at what's really happening in this country, many times because here's the deal. I don't care if you put on a uniform. You can't legislate the heart of a man and his intent, all right? And many times these officers do allow that badge to give them impunity to operate and exercise their racism. Let's be honest here, Steve.
Some of them do. By the way, I just find it funny that when I came up and shook your hand, you didn't tell me you were blind this whole time. I was like, I must have woke you up. You could have said, dude, I'm blind. I was like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry. This whole thing. You just throw that out there like a fucking cluster bomb. I'm like,
So you should have waved his hand when you came in.
I feel like an asshole in the middle of the room.
That's what I told you when you said.
Yeah, man, y'all check the rest of that video out, man. They getting into it, and I like how they laughing and straight having a conversation, but also getting to the root of why shit happened between black and white, because this is both of our country. I know it was a couple white people who wanted everybody out and they wanted to be an all white, all straight male Christian lame ass country. But nah, we here. And this is not just a country for one group of people, man. We are all here. So let's sit down, let's rap about it, and come to the same conclusions. Cause we all got the same, damn near the same problem. We all trying to pay rent. We all trying to live for our family, live for our friends, enjoy life. That's what everybody's trying to do. Now, what gets it fucked up is when you go down into the nuance, into the crux of thing of how do we obtain peace. Now, that's where everybody want peace. Everybody can agree they want peace, but everybody can agree on how about achieving that peace. And that's all I'm saying. But yeah, that's it, man. Drop a comment. Let me know what y'all think. And I'll be back later with some more videos. Peace.